Wow.
So all these people are saying that they can't go out and sunbathe and do this, that, and the other. It's like we can understand, we can feel, but just imagine being locked down in your own household and not being able to spend any time in the same room as your own. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot more. I mean, that affects us a lot more than people said, "Oh, my kids do my head in because they can't do this, they can't do that." Yeah,
Yeah.
it's doing our head in because our son's upstairs and we can't even say hello to him. We can't even go into his bedroom. He's so close but so far. You know,
Yeah. And
um,
what have you put in place to make contact much easier? Have you got some sort of a system installed? Obviously we've got technology we can use. But what have you put in place?
well, internet. The internet is provide us with phoning and texting and skyping and stuff like that. But it's a pretty sad situation when you try to communicate with your kids that are upstairs and you got to video conference them, you know,
Yeah.
and you can't meet them face to face. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, I haven't seen my grandchildren and this, that, and the other." It's like we can't even talk to our son upstairs. You know,
That is
not a lot.
really tough.
Yeah, but I mean, he's 3 meters above us. When you have to do that, it is a real situation
Yeah.
to be put in,
I've
right?
got a couple of
What?
people here who've missed the beginning of this, Morley.
Yeah,
Detectician and Farang Travels. They just asked him, Mr. Start of this, why is he in his room? And another one says, why can't you say hello to him? So just very quickly, recap for those who have missed that, because with all the connection problems, they went and did other things and they've just come back. But I think it's
yeah,
important because tonight's conversation is about how it affects individuals in this hobby to get together, have a chat between us all. Let's appreciate other situations. And your situation, I've heard nothing like it. And I think
yeah.
people need to hear the whole story. So just recap the beginning bit.
Oh, first of all, people need to be aware of cystic fibrosis. Okay. Once you understand about cystic fibrosis, you will understand the process that we've had to follow. Basically, cystic fibrosis is,
He's got a suppressed immunity, hasn't he?
yeah, basically it is worse than cancer because there is no cure. Right? I'm not saying cancer is a bad, like cancer is evil and all that stuff, but some people do recover from cancer, but there is no cure for cystic fibrosis. Okay, and the government, when they become the age of 18, they stop all NHS treatment and they have to pay for it themselves. Okay, so anyone that's got even a diabetic, they can get their treatment prescribed to them free. Okay.
Mm.
Our son now, when he becomes 18, he has to pay for his life saving. Not life saving; it's prolonging because it doesn't save him; it prolongs his death because there is no cure. Right?
Yeah.
If you Google cystic fibrosis, then you'll understand where we're coming from. Uh, the process of the lockdown has been crazy for us. We're not social people anyway, because we like to, we like to keep ourselves to ourselves and
Yeah.
do things and that. But the simple things like going out shopping. You get to a stage when I'm a retail manager by trade. I get panic attacks when I go out shopping just in case somebody walks by me and they spread that one little germ and I take it back and it could basically kill my son.
Yeah.
That's the fear. That's the panic. And people think, "Oh, you're overreacting."
Yeah.
But I'm not overreacting. I'm just sick and tired of all this
Yeah. I've just
stuff that's been
removed.
going on.
I've just removed somebody who left a comment on here saying that it was Solo Dog 71. So if any of you want to go and hound him, please feel free to do so. Solo Dog 71, who said there is no pandemic, it's all bullshit. So I've just deleted him. I hope you take your revenge on that individual. His life must be a very sad existence. But this is probably somebody who probably believes the Earth is still flat or something. Somebody who's in your household, a child that can't leave his bedroom because he's got a very suppressed immune system with a serious disease, whereas any contact with infection could take his life. Who doesn't understand the seriousness of that is just mental. Because I don't understand people. Everybody can make a public announcement like that on a live stream chat after hearing your story, but he's gone. So really, tonight is hearing stories from people how this lockdown and this pandemic has affected us. And I tell you what, honestly speaking, and Morley will tell you that's the truth, I never asked him to come on here and tell his story. All I did was, does anybody want to come on? He volunteered reluctantly because that's the way he likes to communicate, and he can't get out of the house anyway, and he just volunteered that on the spur of the moment. And I'm really quite touched and shocked by that, because you're the first real person, Morley, that I've actually spoken face to face, well, virtual face to face, with a story like that. And you said you've had the COVID-19 within 70 metres of your house. Mm-hmm. And that does get scary.
And if he was to get it, it could be fatal. It's probably the nail in his coffin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me, Joe, and the rest of us are basically locked down. We go out. We have to shop once a week. We don't like to, but we have to. We come back, and believe it or not, every time when we go shopping, how many products do you buy when you go shopping for once a week? 80, 90, 100 products?
Well, we used to shop every day as and when needed.
Yeah,
and now we shop once a week, and it's only two of us, and it's now got up to several £100 at a time, because that's the way we do it now.
Yeah. So how many items do you pick up and put in your basket? Because what we have to do is, before we even unload the car, is we unload the shopping, and we have to wipe every single product down with wipes before they even come to the house. Yeah, because people have touched things and moved things around, and they're saying that if you have a look at the CF Trust website, their information says that we need to wipe everything down before it comes into the household.
Yeah.
So when we go shopping, we've got 6-7 carrier bags full of groceries, which could be 50, 60 items. We've got to be outside wiping it down with sanitizers before it even comes in the house.
That is mental.
Yeah, but this is what people don't realise on how this protecting is, being so the vulnerable need to be doing all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So when we go out there and we're doing this and we're having to spend, it takes us 2 hours to do a half an hour shop. That's from going out, coming back, wiping down, cleaning down, and getting in and sitting down. We've even got to change clothes and have a shower before we even come into the sitting room. That's just because we've been shopping.
Morley, I need to ask your permission for something, because this live stream has turned into something which I wasn't expecting to happen. But there are so many people who should be seeing this video, this section of the video. So whilst I was going to leave it as was and leave it up there like I usually do I have your permission to trim this video down just so it's you and me talking about this particular bit and advertise that as that? Because this is a must-watch video, I think. Your story is a must-watch.
It's not a story; it's the truth.
Yeah,
and that is it's our life. It's been our life for the last 10 weeks, and I just wished I'd done a video vlog like a lot of people have done. It's, if you see what we have to do, then some people would probably think we're not so bad after all. there is we are lucky. There is worse people out there. So yeah, go ahead, use it.
Good.
The CF Trust.
That guy Solo Dog has just come back saying I'm only telling the truth. So I've just deleted him and removed him now from making any more comments at all. He's had his warning and that's it. So that's Solo Dog 71. And this pandemic is not fake or bullshit, mate. It's actually bloody happening. If you can't understand that, oh sorry, I just swore and I've got about an 8-year-old watching this. Anyway, let's move on from that guy. Yeah. He's not worth giving the attention to.
No, that's it. Move on. Jog on. If you don't like it, jog on. Sorry, but there's more to life to worry about than some little sad muppet that's got no life and he wants a troll. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Eric from Ham Shackleton is I missed it again. No notification. I'll have to watch it again from the beginning. You better be quick, mate, because it's got to process first the video, and then it'll go What?
Kelly Crawford 01. CF is a very scary thing for sure. My friend said every day it could be his last, and he lives this way because of it. There you go. That's somebody there that's obviously knows somebody that has CF. You guys, please Google cystic fibrosis. You've heard of cancer, but you haven't heard of cystic fibrosis.
Well, I think most people have, Morley. CF. I think they've heard of it, but they don't realise the very seriousness of the implications when mixed with the pandemic.
Yeah, but this is the problem, isn't it? It's like CF has been around a long time before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But, the pandemic is a big issue, yes, it is. But it's a bigger issue for us because once the pandemic's over, the CF is still with us.
Yeah.
And we live every day knowing it could be our last day.
I know. Digging Canuck Liz, thank you for joining us. We're just talking with various people in our own hobby and other people as well, if they want to come in, about how this pandemic and lockdown in particular has affected us. And Morley here on screen now has just been telling us about his son, who is upstairs for 10 weeks and they can't even see him. They can't hug him. They can't do anything because he's got cystic fibrosis, and any contact with him, if they've got the bug, it could take his life. And you can see how it's affecting Morley. And this is a very important story. So I'm going to trim this video down once I say goodbye. And I'm going to trim it down just to this interview, because I do think people need to be aware of how serious this is. And that guy who said it's not a pandemic, it's all hype and bullshit, somebody needs to string him up, because that is just not right. What I'm going to do, mate, I'm going to dignify you with a thank you very much on that story, because it's very important when they get through. I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to close the video. Is that okay with you, mate, for sharing?
That's fine, mate. Cheers.
Okay, cheers, matey. Right. That is a very moving live stream. I've never done one like that before. I didn't expect that to happen. And I must admit, I am quite shocked. Shocked that this video has turned out to be the video that it is, but in a way I'm sure Morley will also agree, I'm glad that it did. You can see there and you can hear in the video the emotion and the problems surrounding his family. And when they do all their shopping, they've got to wipe every item down outside in the car before they bring it up, change the clothes, have a shower, because it could take his life. And there has been a case just 70 metres away from his home. I didn't realise this was going to happen tonight. All my best wishes and love go out to you and your family, Morley, and Joe, and your son, I forget his name. But I'm going to call the video ended, I think. And I'm just going to edit the stream so it's just Morley talking about his situation and how this pandemic has affected their family life. So I bid you good night and thank you for joining us. I'll catch you later. Keep safe.